Welcome back, collective. Let us tap into some Oracle and Tarot cards for clarity and aligned, inspired action. It's been a hot minute since the last one, and for today's reading, I'm feeling guided to begin with. We're actually going to switch up. We're going to start with the Magic of Marvel Oracle. We're going to start off with some superpowers, actually. I decided to do my personal prayer off camera today to kind of get back into the flow after a bit of vacation and pause and travel. Getting back into routine, showing up for the calling. So let's see, what is on the agenda for the collective here and now, Spirit? And you'll know this reading will be for you. Now, I always record with a timeless intention. You'll know this is for you if you've not only been seeking clarity, you have been specifically feeling a desire to act, to take action, to move forward. There's something in you where it's like you can feel this energy, maybe building up, brimming, bubbling, boiling, however, whatever verbiage you want to use for it. And yet at the same token, there's been a little bit of either uncertainty, hesitation, doubt as to where to best apply this energy, or difficulty with focusing, difficulty with essentially aligning with this energy and utilizing it in a way that you feel essentially more confident about. So we're going to see how can we focus and channel this energy. How can we leverage some clarity through these cards to apply this energy? And Spirit is taking their time with the cards today, which I think is kind of mirroring some of the energy that's coming through with the collective, like pure channeling. It's like there is a bit of haziness, a bit of static coming through, like a transmission is definitely happening, yet trying to really tune into it, it seems as though there's a bit of interference. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, we got a couple jumping out with this one. So we have Squirrel Girl, when the wilderness calls, I listen. So speaking of tuning in and receiving a transmission, this idea of slowing down, listening to the wind, listening to the trees, listening to the ancestors, listening to Spirit. And perhaps how nature can actually help with this discernment. So this is an invitation as well, if you've been spending, and I totally can resonate with this, if you've been spending a bit more time indoors, if you've been a little bit more of an indoor house cat kind of vibe, I feel as though Spirit, to whatever is accessible and safe for you to do so, get some time outside, get some fresh air, and not just in a way where you're rushing through it to check off a box or a list. Spend some time outside with the intention to receive divine insights, divine communications, divine signs and synchronicities, to create space for honestly greater peace to enter through your body and also connect with and nourish your spirit. And in that increased state of peace, you're going to recalibrate and reset the nervous system to be more calm and thus also more open to receiving, more open to inspiration, more openness, period. So I'm getting a sense of slowing down, listening to your soul, listening to Spirit, especially listening to nature, listening to the spirit. I'm getting like the spirits of the wind and the spirits of the trees, and going out in nature to reset and recalibrate the nervous system to be more receptive. Okay, so that's some pretty practical and pragmatic advice. So thank you, Spirit. Then we have Domino. I'm always feeling lucky. I'm always feeling lucky. So this is, I love this. Oh, it's interesting. The way they're having me look at this photo, it's like Domino does have like, what is it? I guess like a pistol more or less in her hand. Yet there's like a shadow, like the way they designed the card, it's like coming out the base of it, even though it's not directly attached. The way the shadow is playing, it almost looks like a jagged triangle, and it made me think of a dagger. Um, so this gun and dagger type of energy, which is really interesting. That may be a sign or synchronicity for somebody if you've been running into like daggers, athames, things of that nature, working with swords. This idea of being very sharp, precise. Yeah. They really have me take my time with this card. Yeah, there's an encouragement coming through here to get a little bit more laser focused on goals and intentions, yes. There's also an invitation here to not become cocky per se. It's time to reach a new layer and level of self belief and willingness to bet on yourself, to go all in on yourself, to take risks for yourself, believing, fully believing and embodying that you are like your own best investment. You are your own greatest champion, like really believing and knowing and choosing to be certain that you are successful, that you are success, period, that you're accomplishing what you're wanting and what you're focusing on. It's time to believe more. It's time to believe more deeply. It's time to believe at a higher frequency, a higher vibration, a higher level of divine faith-based certainty. Like, I'm getting the sense of, yes, there have been battles, there have been wounds, there may have been some tattered rags along the way, yet you are still here. And it's because ultimately, thank you, Spirit, it's calling me to a channel they were kind of giving me earlier today. Is generally with our day-to-day consciousness, it's easy for us to focus on things from a micro level perspective and get caught up in feeling the micro level circumstances of our life. And there's validity in that. Yet at the same token, if we could zoom out and take a more macro level perspective on our life from the concept of where you may be at your current age, and then add, like even 5, but let's just say, to be extra dramatic, adding 20 years to that. And this is just using linear time as an example. It's like if you compare what feels like such a big moment and chapter in your life right now, in this now moment when this transmission finds you, it may become a much, much smaller part of your story as you zoom out and you keep living life. Now, this isn't to minimize anything, especially if you are identifying as being in something that is very quote unquote serious. Like, I'm not knocking that. There's something about I want to say it's like the fulfillment and success you are evolving and stepping into is going to put so much in perspective, and also really help put some nice bookends on some certain chapters of your life that you are evolving out of and don't really want to be in anymore, is what I'm getting. And because of all of the greatness, abundance, and bigness of what's to come, that too is what's going to make this chapter a smaller part of the story. Not diminishing in its significance, simply saying it's not going to occupy that much volume within the volumes of your life. Ooh, okay, I love that. Thank you, Spirit. So believe, like in the volumes of life, that is yours in your volume and volumes of life. Okay, come back into part 2 for this channel because this. Okay, part 2 for this timeless reading for clarity, aligned and inspired action through connection with our spirit and intuition. So on the board we have Squirrel Girl with When the Wilderness Calls, Listen, and Domino, I'm Always Feeling Lucky. Just wanting to recap to honestly to help me ground, let alone to narrate for anybody who's tuning into this part. And with that last channel, what we were building off of is basically not only to be a bit more laser focused with your soul intentions, your soul goals, like what is you're being aligned and called to do right now. Yes. There's also been the call though, the invitation, kind of the updated assignment, if you will, to level up and increase and deepen your faith. And more specifically, your faith-based belief in your success, in your massive success and fulfillment that is going to become bigger and bigger, greater parts of your life. In the volumes of the life, whatever this chapter of maybe transformation paired with adversity that you've been in most recently and or are in now, or identifying transitioning out of now, it really is going to be made a small volume within the volumes of your life. And within these upcoming volumes, there's going to be a lot more abundance, prosperity, optimal experience of life. However, Spirit is really tapping and asking for the next layer and level of belief that that is fact and that it's already written and it's already done. Your consciousness at which you are receiving this transmission with me here and now may not identify as quote unquote having lived through that firsthand yet. However, Spirit is wanting your belief to be stronger and setting a healthier and higher vibrational expectation that you are stepping into. You are going to be firsthand having those conscious experiences truly of abundance, prosperity, and an optimal way of life and living. It's on you though to allow yourself to really believe it. Like, I'm feeling the evolution going beyond just hoping for that, just wishing for that. It's not to say don't, continue wishing on a star. Certainly don't stop praying if you do that, intending. And I'm not saying give up hope as in don't remain a hopeful person. No. What I'm saying though is catch your language and your energy behind your language and eliminate more and more doubt, eliminate more and more unnecessary delay from your language and the energy and thought forms that are supplanting that, underlying that, founding that. So rather than saying, oh, it's like, I hope to be in that prosperous life, it's like Spirit is wanting you to, with more and more belief, really be like, oh, I'm excited for the next experience of prosperity in my life. Oh, I'm excited for my health to become more optimal. I'm excited that I'm becoming more optimal in my joy every day, more optimal in my creativity every day, more optimal in my co-creative manifestations with the universe every day. Like, consider it done. Consider these investments already, like you've already invested. And so the best way to keep on investing with this is the belief in the faith and also enjoying life, like with the payouts as they're happening now. It's like, imagine that you're getting a payout every day and maybe some days they're going to be really small. However, it's going to continue compounding over time. Celebrate these smaller payouts now because the big ones are already unfolding. And you're stepping further and further into the big payoff every day. It's not far off. It's now. And it's just getting bigger and bigger, better and better. Okay. Okay, next, the third, last card from the Marvel deck. And then we'll get some tarot. They really took me in the channel for that. Oh, Captain Marvel sees the day. I love this. Seize the day. Okay, this is fabulous because also I stepped into this reading in this now with this intention of, yes, clarity, why we use cards, paired with whatever intention or around what clarity, but it's really like feeling like I want to apply this action. I want to go for it, spirit. Like, where are we being guided to go? And so this Captain Marvel is giving me this active energy, this invitation to act, seize the day. So first card was Squirrel Girl. When the wilderness calls, I listen. So this is kind of like almost this is the recipe. This is essentially spirit basically answering the intention and giving it to you now in this reading. Is like, if you're wondering what to do, this is your formula. Take some time, get out in nature, slow down, listen, go for a nice walk, breathe. You could do it with or without your own music. I recommend maybe not make it like so loud that you can't hear any of the nature. Like, if you can go someplace where you can hear some of the nature and especially hear the wind, go for it. Maybe one headphone in, one out, if that's possible. Do you connect with, especially like I was saying, the wind and the spirits of the trees, let alone spirit and your spirit guides of choice, in general. But definitely trees, wind, and I would also put ancestors with that. As you connect and you receive both those downloads and you breathe and maybe engage in a conversation or communication, whether out loud if you feel comfortable and safe to do so, or telepathically, empathically, with your exhalations in nature, it's like allow yourself to reconnect with and allow yourself to naturally be guided into focusing upon what is your greatest intention, what is your greatest desire, what is your greatest calling of your soul for focus on right now, and give it that energy. And as you focus upon it and stare upon it, pour more and more of that unwavering faith, that belief, that more and more confidence in that you are going and embodying more and more of that prosperous, abundant, fulfilled chapter of life, that volume within all the volumes of your life of success, of fulfillment, of growth. And then as you go about those processes, maybe keep a notepad nearby, whether it's a physical one, or if you're somebody who's a little bit more of a technopath, you could definitely take a note on your phone, whatever's easier for you, whatever format, whatever medium helps you really capture the ideas, the inspirations as they come through. But really allow yourself to breathe and see what you're guided to do. What actions are lighting you up? Maybe even if it's just a little tiny spark. And maybe because it's not always going to be, especially when you're trying to establish a newer form of momentum and reignite your spark, your passion, your flame, or your faith, or even if you're feeling a spark, but you're trying to reignite the action part of it, go for the smaller things. Go for the things that keep on repeating in your head. Go for the things that may have been floating on a list somewhere, or it's literally on a list or floating in your head. Take that action. Take those actions. Bang them out. Get them done. And then this way, it's creating space for new inspired action to come through. For many of us, for many of y'all, there are a lot of things we already can be doing, and Spirit is inviting us to get those done. It's something where the mind is playing around, trying to make us think, oh, we need to get some kind of bigger, newer action going, or doing something really, really novel and out there. And sometimes that is the case. However, I'm feeling Spirit almost saying, before any quote unquote big, newer, novel idea comes in, we've got to create some space by getting done the things that we can get done today, however big or however small. It's like clear out or bump out that list a bit, and that will create space for newer and novel actions and ideas to arrive. So to give the example, to make it clear for myself, I've been wondering and kind of contemplating, okay, what are the things to be working on in regards to business, as well as just my livelihood in general, where to be putting focus, what to be working on, and finding myself a little bit at times, honestly, like overwhelmed about what to do, what to focus on. And so for me today, Spirit was like, okay, you want to be doing more readings, you want to be connecting with more and more people to perform and give readings. Go up and form, film a reading. Put that out there. That's another one of your big intentions, is to be doing more and more readings, and recording is one way of achieving that, in addition to also working on the goal of creating a bigger presence, ideally online through social media and these platforms and yada, yada, yada. So, and I've been wanting to film for days, and Spirit was like, do it. Okay, part 3, let's get some tarot and seal this in. All right, part 3, I'm going to start shuffling the tarot to bring this reading down to earth to kind of seal this in. Where I last left off is the channeled insight from Spirit while I was given the example of me being guided to get a task done, such as record a reading and do a reading today after fiddling with the desire to do readings since getting back from travel a couple days ago. Do what you can do now to create the space. And if you're feeling a little bit of task dysfunction, analysis paralysis, anything like that regarding your task, it's like spend that time in nature. Spend that time getting fresh air with some nice deep breaths. And it's like restabilize the nervous system as best as you can. And from there, go and take some aligned action. However big, however small. All right, tarot, please and thank you, Spirit. There we go. 3 of Cups. Okay, I love that positive energy coming right out. Give us a little bit more clarification. Ooh, slowing down after this. For some, I am getting this energy of have a bit of fun. And take that Knight of Pentacles. Commitment, offer, possibly coming in. Committed offer, solid opportunity coming in. Ooh, so many just flew out now. 4 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. And the 10 of Pentacles that flew off the table. Bottom of the deck is the 7 of Cups. Okay, the 7 of Cups energy, we're going to start there. Because this is what I'm feeling with the collective. It's a little bit of almost this overwhelm because there's this knowing. There's a lot of different paths, a lot of different actions that could be taken, a lot of different things wanting to focus. So that's why we went into this reading, and why I was called to do this today is to kind of help like Spirit which way to go. And that's why you're invited to slow down, get into nature, to breathe and help you navigate which way to direct and aim your focus and apply your faith, your confidence, energy, and which direction to take action in. So we've gotten that. Now, with this line of tarot cards that popped out, the first one being the 3 of Cups, the message I'm getting with this one, because what follows is the Knight of Pentacles, is I'm getting this invitation is both the get out in the nature, smell the flowers. It's have some fun, lift your spirits, raise your vibration, cheers and toast to the good life. Now, this isn't saying you need to use substances, no judgment, whatever your path is, your path is. What I am feeling though is it's like raise up a glass to life, live the good life, get out of your head, get out of your little box, get that fresh air, go for the walk. Ideally, experience this joy interpersonally I am getting. So spend some time with friends, with lovers, with loved ones, with those that really help your vibration raise high, with other people, souls and spirits who are of a similar vibration or of a higher vibration, maybe of a vibration, that you intend. Even the way they just paused me right now to take this breath in this position with my hands just open and at rest, like opening to receive, and also open-hearted, open-chested, like opened up, available to give and receive love. So yeah, I am definitely feeling this energy is spending some time having some good fun and getting that fresh air in. And then kind of like while that's going on, I feel as though there are like offers and opportunities that are going to be magnetized to you and are going to come in quick. It's a combination because what we had next was the Knight of Pentacles, then we have the Four of Pentacles, and then on the other side of that is the Knight of Swords. Okay? So these two knights, both of them are coming at this character. I know it's probably inverse on the camera or whatever, but like from my perspective, both the knights are going towards the Four of Pentacles character. This says money improvements. More coming your way. Oh my gosh, see? Okay, so things are getting better. Things are getting better. And that's confirmed because the last card that popped out in the line was the Ten of Pentacles. This for me is like big money, like big resources, big abundance, big, like this is optimal finances and resources on a physical level. This can also, if your reading is maybe wanting to hear about improved health or health improvements, whether that being the resources it takes to unlock those and achieve those, or having, you know, a really great internal boost of health due to whatever changes and vibration raising things you're doing. But essentially all of that going up to the next layer and level, not only enough for yourself, but enough that it can be enjoyed and shared in your community, in your family, in your tribe, with your loved ones, however you define that network closest to you. But this is wealth, or excuse me, and this is wealth that is not only self-focused. This has a communal connection to it. And we started that line with that communal vibe. So yes, definitely spending some good time with like loved ones and or like high vibrational community. I want to phrase it that way. High vibrational community. That can be loved ones you already know. That could also be guidance for some of y'all to go towards places and spaces that you're intuitively being called, maybe exploring a hobby or taking a certain class or a certain workshop that could expose you to souls intending, essentially in alignment with your intentions. There we go, Spirit. Then with that Four of Pentacles, I feel like that's representing like you slash me slash us, the receivers of this transmission, if you will. And it's like offers are coming towards us on all sides. Now, with the Knight of Swords, usually that's more mental, like communication, thoughts, and ideas. That moves quick. That comes in quick. Whereas the solid offer, the Knight of Pentacles, is typically the slowest knight. So we have like the fastest and the slowest. So there may be, what I'm getting with this is saying there may be some conversations or things that come in quickly, like ideas. Like maybe the conversation or communication is going to start first about a certain project, a certain collaboration, a certain opportunity, all the above, certain project. However, it may not get, and it may take longer for the details, okay? Like the details, the bottom line, the numbers, the fine print to kind of come in and arrive. It's on the way, but it's kind of starting with maybe a little bit more of an excited conversational energy. Excited, quicker moving, like door opening conversations and communications around it. Yeah, it's like keep the faith because it's like the wealth, the prosperity, the abundance is like, it's assured. Now, I will say with this energy, sometimes with the Four of Pentacles can be an advice, a caution to not be too closed off, not be too stingy with your resources and with your energy. Don't be holding on, quote unquote, too tight that you're not creating space to receive it. Because also this Nine of Pentacles could be coming in with this energy, but it's moving slower than the communication. Maybe the offer isn't coming in as quickly as the communication that I was talking about before, because energetically, we need to create some space to receive it. And I was talking about that earlier, this concept of getting certain tasks and things done and achieved so that we create the space for wealth, for prosperity to arrive. So if you have a to-do list or a floating intentions list somewhere, or these repeating ideas about actions you can be taken in alignment with certain goals, essentially tasks you can do, it would behoove you and benefit you to work on those tasks from quote unquote now forward. Like put time aside in the days and weeks ahead for this, but especially within the days ahead. All right, yeah, I feel pretty complete. I'm Dil Divine, your Philly neighborhood queer muse, oracle, and soul guide. And book a personal if you want a personal reading. All right, I'll be back soon.